Good morning or afternoon, everybody. This is yoga, online yoga with Via. It's the 27th of June. Yikes. I'm going to take this off and put Kathy on the spotlight. And we're going to start the way we always do, on our backs. Just watching your breath. Just take a minute to arrive in the room, in the virtual room. We're going to start with, hold on. We're going to start with yoga with the vagus nerve reset. So this is just a movement of the eyeballs, the optical nerve actually. Bring your arms behind your head, cradle your back of your skull. This is just to keep the head stable so that you're not moving it while you move your eyeballs. And then slowly shift your eyeballs to the right and wait for an involuntary sigh, gulp, yawn, or swallow. Come back to center and switch sides. So the eyeballs look to the left. You can have your eyes open or closed. Waiting for an involuntary swallow, yawn, sigh, or gulp. And repeat 2 more sets, right, left, right, left. When you're finished, keep your eyes, bring your eyes back to center, keep your hands where they are, and do the head ramping movement where you're just pressing the back of your skull, the base of the back of your skull, your occipital ridge into your hands. And then taking a breath or two and releasing. Helping to counteract the times that you're rounding forward over your computer or your cell phone. So when I'm asking you, and in some other pose, to have your cervical spine align with your thoracic spine. You're also trying to find that feeling where the cervical spine is back in line with thoracic, and it's the same movement. It's going to feel a little different in a different plane, but just so you know. Come on back, finish that, and then make little claws. We're going to do some rib cage breathing. Make little claws with your hands and see if you can release some of the tissue and some of the lung, actually the lung, which is a big muscle, tissue around the lungs. Just go up and down along the bottom underneath side of your rib cage and find that tissue and move it. And then start to be aware of breathing through at the rib cage. So you can continue to bring your hands exploring the seam of the lungs and the diaphragm mainly actually at that point. And but you're going to start to breathe at the rib cage. So expand the rib cage side to side and back to front. So a big expansion in the rib cage on your inhale. Hi, Gloria. We're doing rib cage breathing. See if you can get your breath all the way into the back of the lungs, which would actually be in the upper back. So the belly is quite still, and the rib cage is the focus of the breath. And finish up that breathing pattern. And bring your arms beside your hips, about 45 degrees out, a little bit out. We're going to do a bridge, a hypopressive bridge. So you're going to be lifting your hips up once you start holding your breath out. So the first thing we're going to do is 3 regular breaths. Then the hips come up and the arms go overhead as you start to hold your breath out, and I count to 10. Remember that your heels are on the floor and your toes are up toward the ceiling, so you're dorsiflexing, which actually engages more of the pelvic floor. Let's start with breathing, 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale And exhale. Last breath, inhale. And exhale. Hold your breath out, no breath. Lift your hips, bring your arms overhead by your ears. 1, 2, 3, no breath. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, and then exhale. Everything comes down. We're going to do another hypopressive, which is a side lying, and this is kind of tough. So you may have struggled to get to the side. Extend your legs, Kathy. And so, and we're going to do 3 breaths, and then you're going to roll to the right and hold your breath out for 10 counts. So it's the rolling that is going to be the challenge. Do your best. If you need a little help with your elbows, do that, just to find your way onto your side. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold your breath out, no breath. Roll to the right to a side lying position. 1, no breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep your legs as straight as you can. 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, roll back to the supine position. 3 breaths. We're going to do the other side. Go to the other side. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. No breath. Hold your breath out. Roll to the left. The whole body rolls to the left. Keep your legs as straight as you can. No breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale and exhale. Roll back to supine. We're going to do, you're going to need a strap and a block. Sorry, I said just a block before. A thin block would be fine. We're going to do a few things on the floor, supine for the hips. This is mostly hips, and then we're going to do some plank, practicing for planks.
Oh boy.
So, bend your knees and put a block between your thighs and press on the block. Have it the medium width first. Yes. Yep. Keep your heels as close to your butt as you can. Press on the brick and roll your knees from side, rock your knees from side to side. Keep your shoulders on the floor, but your hips will move. Press. This is a pelvis reset. Easy to do. Let's do about 9 of these. Squeeze on your brick. When you finish 9, come back to center and put it narrow, make the brick narrow. So we're going to do the same thing, but it's a narrower stance. And side to side, about 9 times, 9 each side. And when you finish that, come back to the center. And release your brick and put a strap around your legs. And cinch it up, depending on what kind of a cinch is available to you. And this time we're going to do the same movement, except now you're pressing your thighs out into the strap as you rock your legs from side to side. Bring your feet as close to your hips as you can get them. Rock, roll, rock and roll side to side 9 times. Pressing out into the straps. When you finish that, you're going to come up into a bridge, but still pressing out into the straps. Come up into a bridge and hold as long as you can. If you can't hold a bridge up, put a block under your buttocks. And then while you're here, just rock your head from side to side. It's not exactly a looking left-right. It's more just a rolling, more of a moon shape, rolling to side to side. And bring your hips down. And make a circle. So imagine your pelvis. I want you to bring your knees up towards your face a little bit. So the knees are still in a strap, that's fine. And make a circle with your knees. So yes, that's it. It looks like that. So it's basically, you should feel circling the hips over the pelvis, basically. And pressing out. You could actually do this also with a brick pressing in. If you're having trouble with your strap, don't worry about the strap, just make the circles. Have we done both sides? Just one side? Oh,
No, I reversed.
you did reverse?
Yeah.
I lost track. I started thinking about what was next and I lost track of counting. When you're finished, you can take your strap away And we're going to do a resting pose that is actually a lower back release. I recommend doing it at the end of the day when a lot of times our lower back cinch, get tighter and tighter as we stand and sit during the day. You're going to put a brick underneath your sacrum or your buttocks, not the waist. It's lower down than that. And then extend your legs and just lay here, basically. I'm going to time you for 3 minutes. You're going to lie here. So what happens here, I recommend anyone who has any lower back issues that, where the lower back gets tight or achy or painful, this is one of the ways you can start to release. It's literally like traction for L1 through L5. And it's also, by the way, stretches the psoas. You ought to be able to feel that up by the groin, a stretch also. Just stay here and breathe. Now, I haven't tried this with a thicker brick. You could experiment with the height. This is an easy move that's recommended by a physiotherapist in Australia that I like. About 15 seconds. But there is no set time. I'm just ending it because we have to move on. Go ahead and take the brick away from under your butt, and then hug your knees and rock from side to side. So just a reverse stretch. Very nice. And then come up to seated and come on into a quadruped position. I want to start doing more planks and lunges in the class, just because I think they're good basic movements. But today we're going to start with just crawling. You don't have to stay on your mat. And I want you to just crawl. Crawling is actually a great movement. I mean, sometimes I crawl from my bedroom. I have a mattress on the floor because I think that's the only way to go. So I crawl off my mattress on the floor into my bathroom. So go ahead and crawl, and just you notice that, and you can crawl backward or forward. Notice that one knee and then the opposite hand. So it's a cross patterning. This is for balance. This is actually an extremely good practice. I encourage you to do it. It's going to get you ready for planks and lunges. And now I want you to come up onto your toes. So this is called bear crawls. So you're up of your knees. See if you can do this. Okay, bear crawls. Good, Kathy. She's like, what? Say what? Now, if you can't do this, go back to basic crawling. If that's hard on you, but remember, you're going to try to work up to bear crawls. One or two bear crawls.
Yeah, that's a goal.
That's a goal. Okay, let's do this. Before we're going to do this before we're going to do some walking planks in a minute, or planks and walking planks. But first, I want you to find. We're going to do what I call a knee spine twist. So one knee is bent forward, the bottom knee is forward, and the other knee is bent up toward the ceiling. Yes, and then, but on the other side of the bottom knee. So the top ankle, should try to get it on the other side. Sit up really tall. You might have to put something under one side of you so you won't feel lopsided. And the next thing you're going to do, so your knee that's up toward the ceiling, and try to get that as straight up as possible. You're going to hug it with the opposite hand, just the one opposite, the opposite hand, Kathy, not the same hand. Yes. Okay, now you can put your elbow around it if you want, or just your hand, whatever you can is available to you. Take the other hand and bring it just behind you on the floor. It's an opening though, Kathy. Let's see here. Take your arm up, and then back behind you. Yeah, more like that. And you can look around to the back as well. So this is a spine twist. Try to feel length and height in your spine. And this is also a hip opener. So the thoracic spine. So see if you can get a little taller. You're dipping on one side. See if you can get taller all the way through. That's better, Kathy. And then drop your chin a little bit and look back if you want. You should feel this in the hips as well as the spine. So this says this is a basic variation of a yoga spine twist, but it has a lot more components than the spine twist I usually do. And so I call this a hip opener. But it also always works on the arms. Try to come back to center and reverse your position. So if you can't do this on the floor like this, you could do it in a chair. Let's see, could you do it in a chair? Well, it would have to be a variation, some variation of this in a chair. So one leg is forward, one bent knee is forward, the other bent knee is up toward the ceiling. You're holding on to it with the opposite hand or elbow. You can hug it with your elbow and then sit up tall and look back behind you and take your arm, the other arm, back behind you. And stay here and breathe. And then come on back. We're going to do planks and walking planks. So go ahead and start on your hands and knees. And we could spend some time practicing just one leg goes back. So it goes back along the floor and then the other leg. No, the toes are going to curl under, I think. Go ahead and take the other leg back too. Okay.
Both of them?
Let's go do both.
Yeah.
Okay, now lift your head up so you have a long straight line between your heels and your neck, your cervical spine. And so here's what I want you to try to practice is one knee walking. See if you can do one at a time and see if that's better for you. So let's see what we can do with, okay, now just do that and bring your head up so you feel like you still have a really long line between your heel. And now switch sides. Okay, so for people who can't do both, do this and practice this. This is going to get you stronger. For people who can do both, practice going in and out of it. So you stay up for a bit, both legs up, and then come down. Now do either one of these. This is called the walking plank when you bend your knee like this and go back. The traditional plank you're holding, and if you want to do that, you can do that. Kathy, can you take both legs back for a minute? And drop your hips a little bit and lift your head. Nice. Now, you don't have to do that for very long, Kathy, but this is the traditional plank.
Oh, okay.
And then, that's not the traditional way to get out of the traditional plank.
Called the collapse.
No, it's called the collapse variation. When you want to get out of it, you can just bend your one knee and come forward. So I am going to time. I'm assuming that there are some people who can stay in a plank for 30 seconds. But the rest of you are going to practice with Kathy, going in and out of one leg back and then the other leg back, and then maybe holding. So everybody else, who is there anyone who's doing this who would like to be the model, like a spotlight for a minute? Leslie, are you doing this? Where's Leslie? I don't see Leslie. Is there anyone who's doing the full plank that would be a model? I think Leslie left, but her dogs are still here. That's curious. Oh, there she is.
I can offer. I don't know if you can see me though.
Oh, Kathleen?
No, Vivian.
Oh, Vivian. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's try Vivian. Where are you? I am going to make you the spotlight you for a minute. Now, okay, so.
I can't see my legs though, I know.
Well,
Kathy's so good at putting this stuff together.
Practice.
the production artist as well as.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to try
I open the door, isn't it?
for 30 seconds. So come on into a traditional plank. Drop your hips and start. So this is core work, balance work. We can't see, we were losing light on you, but we can see part of you. And just stay here, and we have 19 seconds left. And I should have mentioned we're going to do it again, and I'm going to tell you that another option is to get on your knees. And that is 30 seconds.
Wow. Good job.
Ah, Good job. There, now I see a little more of you. Can you demonstrate, Vivian, can you demonstrate the, just on your knees? Kathy could probably do this too, but. So this is an alternative. We lose her ahead because of the light.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Maybe she's gonna turn a light on. That might be better. Ah.
Set this up for production. There we go.
Okay, now she stays on her knees. She comes down though, and tries to get a straight line between.
My elbows?
Oh, not for a plank. You're not really on your elbows. If you're doing, well, you could do, I guess that could be an option as well. But here, this is on your knees, and your legs can come up. So this is an alternative too. I'd like you guys to practice these things, these variations that can get you stronger for plank. Because then we can do the deep lunge with the spine twist that we tried to do Thursday.
Nice.
So very nice.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. And your time is up. Stop. Okay, I'm going to go back to Kathy.
I think we need knee pads.
I should have said that. If the thing that bothers you
My knee.
on a plank or on when you're on your knees is your knees, if that's the problem that gets in the way of your moving in this way, then you should have a blanket or an extra rolled up yoga, something under your knees. But if you're crawling, for instance, if you've come to embrace the crawl as a really good thing to do on your days off, you might want to get knee pads because they will travel with you. Okay, let's do Warrior One on your knees. So what I just said about knees applies here, right?
Okay, I need to adjust.
So Warrior One is a lunge. So we're not doing planks anymore. We're doing lunges. But I think people can get into this variation of Warrior One, unless if you want to stand up and do the full Warrior One, go ahead and do that if you know that from another yoga class. I'm teaching people this variation to begin with. So Kathy's going to bring her right leg forward and maybe a little more forward. And then bring her torso up over her hips and her arms up over her ears. So this is a back extension. And she's just going to stay there and breathe. This is Warrior One on your knees, basically. It takes one piece out of the picture, and that is the external rotation of the left hip, or the back hip, which I actually am not sure I agree with anyway in terms of safety, because a lot of people can injure themselves with that rotation. Just stay here and breathe, and then whenever you're ready, go to the other side. Warrior One on your knees. Bring it more forward. So the knees are directly forward, the hips are directly forward, the breasts directly forward, the arms come up. This is a nice, see, Kathy has a nice little back bend going on here, back extension. You might want to look up toward the ceiling, but not too much. And breathe. And then come back and we'll do it one more time, right and left. So other side. Let's starting quadruped, coming into a lunge, and then into a warrior. Warrior one. There are some other warrior poses too, but warrior one, on your knees. See if you can bring your left leg out, foot out a little farther so it's directly behind your left knee, Kathy. There, better. I'm not always right about, when I look, I'm looking in 2 dimensions. So you may have had that perfect and I couldn't be.
I did not. You were right.
Okay. Just so you know, I'm limited. It's not 3D. And just stay here and breathe and enjoy this powerful pose. And switch sides. One knee on the floor. Maybe it's cushioned. The other knee forward. Arms up. Whenever you're ready, come back down and find your way into a child's pose. We're going to do some shoulder stretches with a child's pose. Child's pose is should be a relaxing movement. You can put a brick under your butt. If this bothers your knees, you could roll a towel up and put it across your knees. Or if it bothers your ankles, you could put a towel or a mobility strip in front of your ankles. So please find some adjustments for yourself that make this comfortable. And your knees can be wide or narrow. And then Kathy could even put, if she had another brick, she could put a brick under her head. Although we're going to add some shoulder work, so eventually that brick will probably go away. But you can see that if you fill in the gaps, that might be a better way to put it. Fill in the spaces. So if you have a space between your forehead and the floor, fill it in with a blanket or a brick or a block. Same with your hips. Just stay here and take some breaths. If you have a set of therapy balls, you could take the balls out of their bag. Why don't you demonstrate this, Kathy? Because in a way, I like the idea of having some little therapy ball move in every class. Take the ball out of your bag and put it at your knee crease. One at each knee crease.
Oh, okay.
And sit back onto it. You're both of them in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you may feel this is like both works on the knees and the calves and the thighs, actually. Releasing some of the tension we hold there. Taking some breaths. I hope some of you besides Kathy were able to do the therapy balls. And then you can move the balls farther down the calf. So move them down out an inch away from the knee crease. And you could move them out even further. But we're going to go on. So Kathy, remove the balls and remove your front brick. And we're going to do just a couple of shoulder exercises from the child's pose. So come forward in child's pose and crawl your arms to the left.
Excuse me.
Arms to left, just and until you find a stretch in the latissimus dorsi on the right. So you're going to try to keep your torso a little bit forward, I think, so that you can find that stretch. Because if you're moving your torso with your body, you may lose it. So do you feel this on the right armpit? Good.
Oh, yeah.
Right armpit and below the right armpit, all the way down the side body. And then just come back. So find that stretch and then come back to center and find it on the other side. Straighten your arms as much as you can. And can you drop your armpit, your left armpit, Kathy? And straighten that arm. You'll find more stretch here, I think. And come on back. This time, coming back to center. This time, thread your right arm underneath your left armpit. Palm up. Can you straighten your arm a little better? Or no? I know you have a cranky shoulder.
Which arm are you talking about? This one?
Bottom one, the bottom arm. Okay. So this is for the outside of the shoulder. So you're getting all the benefits of the hip opener of the child's pose. And then you're getting this shoulder work. And then go ahead and switch sides, Kathy. Don't switch your body. We'll get to see the back side of the pose this time. This is a threading your shoulder, your arm under your opposite armpit. Yeah. And the closer you can get your shoulder to the floor, probably the more stretch you'll get. And just stay here and breathe. And then come out of this and come into a prone position on the floor for our back extension, our basic back extension. And then we're going to add 2 levels actually. So remember, you can do level 1 and just keep repeating that, or you can move to level 2 and 3. So level 1, your arms are on the floor, palms up, your face is facing the floor. Take an inhale to prepare and an exhale to lift. There you go. Drop your chin a little bit, Kathy. And if you'd like, you can go up a little higher as long as it doesn't affect your lower back. And then inhale to prepare to return and exhale to return. We're going to add airplane arms. So we'll do level 1 and then level 2. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift, chest, head, arms. Take an inhale to prepare for airplane, and then exhale, arms come out. Stay here, lift up a little more if you can without hurting your lower back or involving your lower back. Inhale to prepare to return, and exhale to return to the floor. Level 3. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift, arms, head, chest. Stay here, can lift a little bit more if you can. Inhale to prepare to go to airplane. Exhale, airplane. Inhale to prepare for Superman. Exhale, Superman, arms come to by the ears. Take an inhale. On your next inhale, prepare to leave, to return, and exhale to airplane. Inhale, and then exhale to return all the way to the floor. Very nice, very nice. Let's go ahead and do the thoracic stretch with your arms out in an airplane, actually, basically on the floor. So you're still prone on the floor, arms are out on the floor, and you want to keep your armpits and your arms and your shoulders on the floor. Look to the right, lift your right leg over your left leg, back over your left leg. So the hips can move, they should move, but if you're involving the lower back, you've gone too far. This is really an upper back stretch created by the movement of the legs. Stay here. Now, if this is hard for you to do, or if it hurts your lower back, don't do this at all. Just stay on your, come back. Go ahead and come back, Kathy. Come back and just squeeze your buttocks one at a time, alternating butt squeezes, and that'll help you prepare to do this later. Look left. Left leg lifts and goes over the right leg. Some people like to bend their knee, see if they can get the heel down to the floor. Not everybody likes that, so don't just play with it. Put your left shoulders up a little bit, Kathy. Drop it to the floor. Yeah, and see then that controls how much she can lift her leg. Come on back. The other side, one more time. Look right. Right leg comes up and over. Stay here. Remember the armpits and the arms on the floor. Stay on the floor. Come back. Return. And repeat on the left. Look left. Left leg lifts. This is really good for almost all of us because our upper backs get tight. And then that affects our lower back. So come on back. Find your way onto your back for Yoga Nidra. You may want to put a washcloth over your eyes. You may want to put a blanket over your body. You want it to be warm and comfortable. I'm going to guide you through. I'm going to stop my video. I'm going to guide you through our 61-point guided meditation, Yoga Nidra, asking you to move your attention to the places that I mentioned, just your attention. Starting with your breath, breathing in and out. Now bring your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, left elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. Completes Yoga Nidra for today. Go ahead and extend your legs and start to notice your breath and start to move. You can extend your arms over your head and try to create some space, more space between your rib cage and your pelvis. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch one side of your body and then the other. Hug your right knee to your chest and your left. Both knees hug and side rock from side to side. And then roll all the way over into a fetal position to one side. Use your bottom hand, arm as a pillow. Stay here. And use your top hand to bring yourself up to a seated position, your favorite floor seated position. You can go to prayer if you need to. I am going to stop the spotlight. Everybody should mute themselves.
Unmute themselves.
Unmute themselves, sorry. And I'm going to put mine into gallery so I get to see everybody, all of you. Except people without pictures. Well, I see that though. Whoops, she's gone even. Okay. We're going to close in the usual manner. Bring your hands to your heart. Rock your head forward over the top cervical spine. So you're nodding, bowing, honoring each other, recognizing the light in each other. And we'll close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording, but you can stop. Oops. Let's see.